Things have been pretty heavy recently, to say the least, even here on the Videocast. So this week, I thought we'd serve up some 90s fast food animated nostalgia. Today we're going to be looking at different cartoons and how they're promoted through fast food tie-ins. Now, we've talked about fast food promotions a lot, so we will be skimming over a few things that we've looked at elsewhere in other videos. We will be categorizing these by network or studios, mostly, still going chronologically through the 90s and a little bit into the 2000s. I'd also like to look at why, outside of nostalgia, the 90s was such a great period for animation. Very excited to get into this. As always, I'm your host Brian, and none of this happens without the support of our patrons over at patreon.com/pixelportraits. We have a new video up there now looking at collecting, the mindset of collectors, and how easy it is to become lost in time. $5 gets you access to that and dozens of other videos, as well as digital copies of my book, The Nostalgia Economy. We've got physical copies, t-shirts, super thanks, YouTube memberships. Like, comment, share, everything helps. You can follow us on Blue Sky as well, posting nostalgia, obscure media, and more. The 90s. I may be biased, the 1990s were my childhood, but it was an absolute boom period for animation. You had the Disney Renaissance. Disney had really struggled throughout the previous couple of decades, but the magic was back. They produced hit after hit, especially in the first half of the decade. Even on television, the Disney afternoon, not quite feature-length quality, but some amazing animation on TV, which wasn't common due to how expensive animation is, great shows. Entire television networks were created dedicated to cartoons. The 1990s saw a breakthrough in auteur animation. Nicktoons and creative incubators like Liquid Television or Cartoon Network's What a Cartoon gave young animators a platform to develop their unique styles and shows. There were major technological advancements, using computers to aid in the animation process, or the jump to full CGI. Both in movies and on TV, tech got to the point where feature-length films or entire series could be produced. There are still innovations happening, but nothing was like this leap. Whether in movies or video games, this was massive. It was like living in the future. Anime became more accessible and popular here in the West. Videotape made it possible to localize and release anime, something else we've talked about before. Companies like Streamline Pictures and Manga Video helped introduce an entire generation to anime, as did Toonami for the next. From the cute to the hyper-violent and disturbing, which leads into the fact that a lot of animation was being produced for adults. Cartoons are no longer just for children. There have been adult animated cartoons before. We actually have an entire series over on Patreon, Century of Schlock, that is all about animated smut, but during the 1990s, cartoons for more mature audiences really blew up. They went mainstream. Whether they were weird, gross, like the kind of stuff you'd see on MTV, Liquid Television, to being as offensive as possible, South Park, Family Guy, even family sitcoms that happened to be animated, King of the Hill, obviously The Simpsons, which is what we're going to be starting with here. For the pedantic, yes, I know, it began in the 1980s, but it is much more associated with the 90s and kicked off a wave of animation throughout the decade we are still very much feeling today. We've covered the Simpsons movie and their various Halloween promotions at Burger King, but in 1990, at the height of Bart Mania, BK first landed the Simpsons license. They had two promotions that year. First, and probably more well-known, were these dolls. $3.49 each, with the purchase of fries or a mini muffin. I found a few different ads. This weird one featuring a boys' choir, one with some original animation, Bart bathing in a fountain, another Bart and Lisa arguing over playing with dolls. The lesser-known promotion was for these smaller camping-themed figures with backgrounds. They wanted to capitalize on the popularity of the show, but at this point they didn't have a whole lot to go off of. One of the few Season 1 episodes revolved around the family going camping. We saw this in the arcade game as well. The designs were already there, so it makes sense. This really highlights the popularity of the show, especially Bart, who was the early star. This promotion would be reused, actually, the following year in Pizza Hut in Australia, which I found this commercial for. They were also offering these plastic cups, classic fast food promotion. I love seeing these international commercials. We saw the same thing happen in our nerdy fast food promotions video with the Ninja Turtles. Something else I love to see is when fast food places appear in the universe they are crossing over with. In 1993, KFC came to Springfield, here in Canada at least. Again, those regional differences. 2 commercials. In one, Homer ditches work and crashes a motorcycle into KFC where he runs into Mr. Burns and Smithers. Homer panicking and running is sort of a theme here. In the other commercial, he gets an animated bucket of chicken and a 2-liter 7-Up, both animated, very cool. It's such a good deal, he acts like it's a steal. Cups are the promotional item again. Not sure if this counts as fast food, but there's also this festive ad for TGI Fridays featuring Homer from the same year. Just want to throw it in here. In 1996, The Simpsons partnered with KFC competitor Church's Chicken. Homer is a star again. He gets harassed by bullies in one and does the harassing in another commercial, chasing down a Church's delivery van. Like with KFC, we see Church's animated in the Simpsons style. The Simpsons would return to KFC with these sports-themed toys in 2003. They had their movie and Halloween promotions at BK, but in 2002 they also had these talking watches, another popular fast food promotional item, especially in the 90s and early 2000s. Good stuff. Up next, we have the kids-centric channel Nickelodeon, which, as a brand, was featured in quite a few different fast food promotions at different times throughout the 90s. Pizza Hut offered Nickelodeon Magazine, wrestlers Axe and Smash, Demolition appear in this one from 1990. In 1992, McDonald's offered these generic Nickelodeon items, a blimp toy, a microphone, clapper. 94, Hardee's had Nickelodeon back-to-school items, pens, notebook. BK would do something similar in 1999 with a calculator, whiteboard. Also in 99, Kids' Choice Award Toys, which is one of the weirder promotions we've seen. General Nickelodeon-themed toys for their award show. But we are here for animation, and Nickelodeon's original cartoons, Nicktoons, crossed over with several fast food places. Pizza Hut, 1991, promoted the launch of Nicktoons with these glasses featuring the first 3 Nicktoons, Rugrats, Doug, and Ren and Stimpy. Very cool. Love these. Rugrats was the most marketable of these, especially for kids. Burger King went all in on this. In 1998, they had multiple promotions for toys. When the Rugrats movie came out, they had toys again, commercials featuring the cast, watches. They also had a sort of hodgepodge of different Nicktoon characters that year. Cat dog toys the following year, 1999. We'll be seeing this again in this video, but in 2003, Wendy's, not exactly known for their promotions, had a Hey Arnold tie-in. Hey Arnold started in 1996 and was still airing, but Wendy's was definitely late to the punch here. They look great though. Cartoon Network, a television channel that only played cartoons, debuted in 1992, and I was pretty surprised by the lack of fast food crossovers. Not much for their original shows. I did find this Pizza Hut Pizza Head Real Adventures, a Johnny Quest promotion, 1996. This was an attempt to modernize Johnny Quest and bring him into the 90s with Quest World, which was CGI, early CGI. I was a fan of this show when it first aired. Didn't really hold up on a recent rewatch though. This 1999 Wendy's promotion for Johnny Bravo was pretty great. Some different games, gimmicks, sunglasses. Dexter's Lab apparently had toys at Subway in 1999, but I couldn't find anything for that. I did find stuff from 2001 and 2003 from BK and Dairy Queen, which I believe is the first time it's shown up in one of our videos. In both of these, we get the later Dexter design. While we were in the 2000s, Powerpuff Girls appeared in this promotion for BK, where they're chicken tenders shaped like stars and lightning bolts. At the same time, they were offering Dragon Ball Z toys. DBZ, closely associated with Cartoon Network's Toonami block. I wanted to have some anime. The show was mostly produced and aired in the 90s, so I thought I'd include it here. Warner Brothers, the WB, found a lot of success rebooting or rebranding their IP for the 90s. Tiny Toons was a sort of reimagining of Looney Tunes, and in 1991 McDonald's promoted these flip cars, which are pretty cool. They were 4 different cars, but each car could be flipped between 2 characters. They did something similar the next year with more cars, marketed with Buster acting like a used car salesman. Other characters appear, there are 8 cars in total. In the same vein as Tiny Toons, there was Animaniacs, also promoted at McDonald's, also with cars or vehicles. Animaniacs featured the Warner Brothers and sister, Yakko, Wakko, and Dot, as well as a cast of other characters, the most popular of which was Pinky and the Brain, who got their own spin-off series and fast food promotion at Wendy's. This promotion offered toys and overlapped with New Year's Eve 1997 going into 98. There was a contest where you could guess what the Brain's plan was to take over the world in 1998. Last time, we looked at McDonald's Batman the Animated Series Happy Meals. WB produced a Superman series in the same style that Burger King promoted with these toys. I wasn't the biggest fan of Superman or the show, but I loved the follow-up to Batman, Batman Beyond, which Burger King also had toys for. Batman in the future, love it. We are going to be wrapping up today with Disney, which, no surprise, has quite a bit of material. A lot of Disney's bigger movies we've covered in our summer and holiday blockbuster videos, but something that is a little different this time is that we're seeing multiple promotions for the same properties. These spanned years. There was the theatrical release of the movie and also the home release. Different items were offered. By the late 90s, some of that magic I mentioned earlier had faded, but Disney was still producing basically a new movie every year. After a stint at Burger King, they returned to McDonald's. 1997, Hercules, a hero-size triple cheeseburger. For kids, Happy Meal tie-in, obviously toys. Things used to take a lot longer to come out for home releases. Sometimes you had to wait a year, and Hercules returned to McDonald's in 1998 with more toys and these collector's plates. 1998's theatrical Disney release was Mulan, which had a few different promotions. One was a Happy Meal, should go without saying, toys, and the other was McNuggets with Szechuan sauce. I'm sure that's the last we will hear of that. These prices, my god. It came to video the next year, more toys. Rounding out Disney's 90s output was Tarzan, 1999. You could get these sound straws that made noises with the characters' faces. Of course, toys. They ran a contest where you could win prizes. Pretty standard stuff. I was a big fan of the Disney Afternoon. This was the name given to the block of shows produced by Disney that got quite a few different promotions. These included some very cool branded boxes from Pizza Hut, 1992. This is the Darkwing Duck one here. Goof Troop, which was my favorite, got this treatment too, along with a hat and a shirt. Goof Troop also had these bowling toys at Burger King. It's BK from here on out. Bonkers crash up cars. Not wild about the show, but pretty cool designs here. The cars break whenever they crash into something. Some summer vibes in this next one from 1994 featuring beach-themed toys. All of the shows we've seen so far appearing. I don't know if I'd call Gargoyles the Disney Afternoon, but it was a great show, and in 1995 they had these transforming toys. Also, not really a part of the afternoon, but based on it, was a Goofy movie. Love this movie. Love this time. It's been great revisiting it, but that's going to do it for today. This was not meant to be exhaustive. I'm sure there is a ton that I missed. Let me know in the comments what you think. What are some of your favorite 90s cartoons? We will be covering this more over on Patreon. Tons of exclusive content over there you can get access to for as little as $5 and help keep all this going, so please consider supporting us. Check out some of our other fast food nostalgia videos. Like this video, share it, tell a friend. As always, thank you so much for your interest in this channel, and thanks for watching. See you in the future.